Hello everyone, this is the Monster Avenger, and I want to show you some tricks to help you win ranked very easily. Like, these tricks are so amazing that you could probably win any ranked match if you use them right. Now, I know what you're thinking. No, it's no gun, no, there's no brain dead characters and spam it. It's actually skill. Yep, that's right, I'm using PTS Sanji, or at least attempting to. So one thing you want to know is that while it is true that characters with spam could get you really easily, it's also important to try to get skill such as this, because I know what you're thinking, but a guy that literally does like half your health in just one hit, well, it's still skill because he literally takes is such close range, and like Ishiko, he also like, see, like that, like I didn't actually manage to 100 to 0, like it still took some effort. So this is why he's actually skillful. So one thing you want to know is that even though, despite what people say about you being turtling or running like this, that's not actually turtling for me when using this character. Because, I mean, when you literally have a character that has such close range moves and like no utility, then basically this gives you a perfect excuse to turtle like this. But to be skillful, just try to time your attacks, but also at the same time try to do tricks like this, to like this, yeah, like that, in order to actually it's because it's hyper armor, so this means you could actually do them across your attacks in order to avoid others, in case you're afraid. Even though I'm not finding an evasive character, another good way to win ABA matches really easily without the use of brain dead characters is just to simply bait out evasives, because baiting out evasives can help a lot. And also this, like that. You should time your moves and try, and because of how fast the moves are on this character, you should try to find some open spots where you could easily get combos in. Because surprisingly, despite how true some combos may be, you may actually get more hits in than you expect. So this means always keep spamming that button if you're close enough, and you might actually get a lucky hit off. And also, don't be afraid to tank guard breaks like that, since they're not going to actually do anything to you. Because it's better to take that damage than to eat all that damage. And also, okay, so as I was gonna say, is that also you could also bait out attacks like that. Only I didn't do it right, but also, here's another thing to remember. For this character, since I'm using this character, which means I have to talk more about him, then don't underestimate his hitboxes, because despite what they look like, they're actually a lot bigger than you think they are. Like, they literally hit from a long distance. It even saved me in one match one time when I was fighting against an awakened Ichigo, and I actually managed to literally land a call there even when he did a roar. So as you see, it's mostly due to the lag that this is going on, but with skill, you could actually do very well, because it's the skill that you're looking for, not just the brain dead characters here. So if you learn how to master all these tricks, you could actually win fights easily, like in here. And remember, don't be afraid to turtle, or take damage in order to avoid annoying attacks. Oh, and also, his awaken is really good, like 2 hits and you're dead. The only problem is that it's really close range. So your tip here would just be to do this, and now all it will take is 1 hit. The only problem is just landing it, since it has a 1-shot. However, I actually could be a bit confident that they may actually see like that. You can just block everything like that. So you'll just have to look out for those annoying 1-shots. Because those annoying 1-shots can mess you up good. Trust me, they can. So always be careful, but sometimes you're going to need to risk damage in order to actually avoid the stronger moves. But just keep blocking, because even though sometimes some moves could force you to be guard broken like that arrow rain, as long as you're far enough like this, because there are some players that just rely absolutely on their skill. Like, see, like this character doesn't have any skill here at all. Like he's just spamming moves from far. So don't be afraid to get close and personal, and this may be the end, but still, it's okay. Like, at least I still did well. Like, I did better than most people would have. So as you see, I actually got close to doing that match there. So far, these are actually good tips to help you win. Now, on to the next match, and let's see how the results are this time. So, as we go on to the next match, I'm going to explain that PTS Sanji, even though he could seem like a brain-dead character, at the same time he could be a skillful character. It just depends on how you use it. Like, sure, I know about the whole 2 hits and you're dead, but the reason why he doesn't have his damage nerfed is because if he really was a brain dead character, he would have actually got nerfed somewhere, but he didn't, at least when it comes to the damage of his Spectre. You could still just do a 100-0 combo with just 2 moves. So, don't be afraid to use that Caler in order to actually use a combo starter. And like I said, if you actually know every single kit of every single character, it's actually very easy to just turtle any character. Like with any character, you could be any character. You could just have to turtle any move that is blockable and just tank the guard breakable ones. And if you get unlucky and you see a move that's absolutely going to hit you for sure, just use a move on top of it and you're fine. So, trying to use what I applied here, let's see if I can win this match. So, as we move on to the next match, I decided to use PTS Sanji because he's actually one of my mains when it comes to doing easy damage. It's actually good because now my graphics are loaded much better than they did in my last video. So this should actually be easier to fight now. And as you see, I have the Mikey skin, but not just that. I have this. That's right, I have the legendary skin for Red Leg Zep. Maybe the legendary skin could give you luck because, fun fact, do you know that legendary skins could actually help you win ranked matches as well? Because the design and other types of features on the skin could actually make you more motivated to do something. And now we're facing against a PTS Luffy. Now here's a good example of what to do. Since this is just... See, See, like that. Just do that and do this. So, of course you may be crying when you actually fight against these people, but you don't have to, because these people are really easy to block. They're only really good because of their easy combos and the fact that most people just don't tend to block anything at all. Because if everyone actually learned how to block blockable moves like that, then they would actually be a lot better off. Like this. Oops. I messed up there. I have to be honest, I messed up there. But as long as he doesn't manage to reach... Well, he's still on low HP, which means he should still be good. And don't be afraid by taunts like that, because trust me, he can't do anything. See? I had just literally killed him with that one blow. So you shouldn't be afraid to use moves, because trust me, you won't lose. You ain't got nothing to lose by using them. I mean, just block moves like that, and for his other moves, just spam them all like that. And look, you won't lose that much health because in the end, he still lost more health than you did. So don't be afraid to use and spam every single move in your kit you have, and just use everything to your advantage. Okay, come on. Oh. Ah, so close. You also have to be aware of how many hits you've taken because you really don't want your opponent to awaken on you when you're on the last stop. So just also be aware of that. Like that. Because they might try to intimidate you and try to force you to do a move, but unless they have a counter or evasive, don't be afraid to do anything, because trust me, when you have a fast move like that, they can't do anything. Like, they could literally do nothing. I mean, sure, he could take away my health like that, but he can't take away the mode I'm about to have. I mean, he could do what he wants at this point, but it won't matter, because I'm still gonna kill him in the end. Like that. And now he's on... Look, now he's on 1 HP. So if I do this right, and just be careful, I could actually just end up winning this match. So don't be afraid by... See, like that, he tried to bait me. See? Now I'm not taking any more risk, and I'm gonna awaken so I can force his awakening. Because trust me, this is his last chance. See, like that. That is what I mean when I said use moves on top of other moves. So as you've seen for yourself, you've seen an actual real-life example of how would you use moves on top of other moves like that. It may seem like common knowledge, but you'll actually be surprised that many people don't actually do this. Like, when they see a move, they're just taking it, or they just block it, and just end up getting 100 to 0. So you should always just remember this tip. And an easy way to remember this is to actually remember all that sweet damage you get if you actually end up landing it. Because remember, it's not the amount of damage you take unless it kills you that matters. It's the amount of damage that your opponent takes that matters. Because not only will that fill up your bar, but that's also gonna be what helps you win. So at this point, there's already a lot of tips to helping you win that could actually easily help you get any win. It just simply could be difficult or easy depending on what character you're facing. Because all these tips are not going to be guaranteed, but if you actually learn everyone's moveset and actually practice using these tips on anyone, like with your friends or on any skilled player, and if you also learn patience, then you could win any match. Because that's how the most skillful players do it. Like, they know what you're gonna do because they know the entire kit. Like, I mean, unless they're spamming with a brain dead character, which I'm doubt likely because anyone could do that, then I'm pretty sure all the top players are actually doing this by actually learning all the kits and they know all the combos. Because combos could also be hard to do depending on your character. So my recommendation for combos is just do the simplest combo you know. Don't try to do any complex combos, and then you're all set for ranked. Because you're likely to get a decent amount of wins. Like, it could seem unfair at some points, since it does look like they might pair you with matches that are just way out of your level, but everyone is the same with their characters. The only difference is how they use their characters. That's the important thing to remember. And now it's time to finally talk about the most important thing when doing an ABA match. It's patience. Patience could be applied in many different ways. For example, one good example of patience is, let's just say an opponent actually goes out and actually glitches out of the map. If you have a win streak, if you really want to do the win streak, then you could just stay there and wait until he leaves. However, it would actually be recommended if you want to grind to actually just leave the match and just find another one to win, because with all these tips, you only have one that you're actually gonna lose, which means that with all that extra XP that you're gonna get in the end, it won't matter if you lose one. And actually, it's good. I actually met a Frieza character, a Frieza guy who actually knows how to do combos. This is actually pretty good. And another example of patience is, for example, learning not to, like, get angry or frustrated. That frustration actually just throws you off in a fight. Just try to stay calm and be patient for your opponent to make the first move, because a lot of skilled players would actually be waiting for you to do the first move. Like, look what he's doing. He's waiting for me to make the first move, and he's trying to bait me using that one skill. And look, I managed to counter him, and then... So the only thing I have to look out for is that destructiveness. Like that. That's a good example of how to also counter attacks, is that when you find yourself in a tight spot, focus and don't be distracted. And like that. Yeah. To be honest though, I do actually overestimate the damage of that move, to be honest. Okay? Okay, so true, even though the hitbox doesn't seem big, judging by what happened now, trust me, it's larger than it looks. Like, it's gonna at least get some good studs of distance. So just use that when you feel like you're like, let's just say you're in a problem, just use it regardless of what it looks like, because you don't have any other choice either way, because they're either gonna move on you and just attack you, or even if it doesn't reach, they're still just gonna attack you anyways. So it's just useful to just do this tip that I'm telling you. And also, let me know if these tips actually helped any of you win more matches, because it would be great to know if my advice is actually reliable and not unreliable. So please let me know in the comments if my tips and tricks actually helped you win more matches like this one. Yep, I certainly got this match in the bag. But it's also good not to get overconfident, because trust me, anyone could reverse stock you at any point. Like, he just literally took off a big chunk of my health with that. And also, don't block in this case, because he literally is just waiting to use all his moves, and he probably has his laser up. Like that. Ouch. Okay, now, great. Now I'm probably gonna die here. And he just got his mode back, so this ain't good. Oh. That's not good. But it's still good because I'm still actually doing well. Because I actually haven't used this character in a while. So it's actually good that I'm starting to use him well. Yep. Another tip is that no matter what it looks like, brain-dead characters are never the easy way to win matches. Just take the tips I have and apply them to how you win, and I'm sure you'll do better than before. Like, that's one thing for sure, is that you'll do better. And let me know, once again, if the tips actually help you, because it would be good to know if my advice actually helped anyone, because I don't want to deceive anyone using unreliable advice. So thank you, and subscribe for more.